actually bring up, we're going to share the platform. I'm going to bring her up first, just to give you a little bit of a background on this sister. She is the daughter of one of our pillars in this community, one of our entrepreneurs. Sister has taught classes, she has driven school buses, she has, her Arabic is phenomenal. Her recitation of Arabic is phenomenal. She's helped, she's given, and that's Sister Esther Mohammed. Well, not only is she a wonderful pillar of this community, she has helped to raise some wonderful children that have been a part of helping to continue to do what their mother has put in front of them. And one of them is here today. She's a former student of mine. I'm proud to say when you see your students come back and do something productive, it's always a beautiful thing. And she has gone on, and in her efforts to try to help humanity, she's been involved in the health profession for a number of years. She had a vision that she was going to follow a certain pathway, but Allah allowed her to experience things along the way. And with that Islamic background that she had, her experiences allowed her to take on a different vision of how she was to give back and to help. And with that, it has led her to the current field that she's in. And I'll let her explain that to you in a few minutes. But I want you to see that not only is this a young lady who was raised in our community, her evolution in our community has led her to be the contributor to humanity that she is. So I want you to take what she's about to share with you very, very seriously. And after she is done, I'll come forward and I will bring even more information, inshallah, to share. But here's what our community, alhamdulillah, is developing. Without further ado, I'm going to bring forward Sister Natalie Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I bear witness that there's no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I want to thank you all for inviting me out to speak with you all on the subject of health and nutrition. I missed every one of you, well, most of you I missed the past couple of days, and I'm glad to see you all are here today. What we did the past couple of days was basically talk about the foundation of nutrition and health. And today I'm going to basically finish up.
Hold this. Okay. Hold this. Keep talking.
I'm going to basically finish up and give you all the tools you need to help incorporate what we spoke about the past couple of days into your life. But as Dr. Lynn has said before, I started out in pursuit of a degree in medicine. In the past approximately 20 some odd years, I've worked in the field in ER, in clinics, in all different specialties. And what I realized is that medicine is important, but even more important is the health. How a person eats, their exercise or lack thereof of exercise determines how they'll be from the cradle to the grave, basically. Whether they're going to be healthy, whether they're going to be sick. And as many of you know, you may have some issues yourself, or you may know people who have issues. And I could not, in good conscience, keep pursuing a degree in medicine, knowing that it would be a better step for me to help people in the area of nutrition, and that's what I'm doing today. As a matter of fact, yesterday, in the middle of our presentation, I was called away to the hospital. One of our family members, she is under 30 years old. No, I'm sorry, she's under 40. She's under 40. Right, she's under 40. She was in the hospital due to congestive heart failure. She was on life support when we got there, and it was very emotional for me because of the fact that I was here to give a talk on nutrition and health. To see this tragic disease hit, my own family member, it was very hard for me. And while we were there, we prayed for her with the family, and we just asked Allah to please help her And before my very eyes, now she was on a ventilator, she was on life support. Before my very eyes, her grandmother asked her to please open your eyes so I could see them again. And she opened her eyes and looked around the room and saw all of us standing there, and she was able to speak. She waved, and it was just a miracle from Allah, a blessing. And I don't know what everyone else's take-home message was from that, but my take-home was I have to continue to help people with the knowledge that Allah has blessed me with. I have to share everything that I know, and if I don't know it, I have to seek out knowledge to help people any way that I can. And so today, like I said, I'm going to finish up with the presentation that we started. A lot of times we follow certain diets. Okay. A lot of times we follow certain diets, but dieting is not really the way. What you need to do is basically use your.
So sorry.
Okay. Just use good common sense and eat the foods that Allah has provided for us. A number of years ago, Allah blessed me with a little song. I'm not going to sing it to you, but this is basically what I mean by using your common sense and eat what Allah has given to you. I entitled it, What We Need and How to Eat. Allah gives us what we need. Allah shows us how to eat. Fruit and vegetables that grow at our feet. Their yield is bountiful, or what a treat. The flesh of cattle, fish, and fowl, He says we can eat. Baked, grilled, and roasted is how we eat our meat. Processed foods are so bad. They make us feel sick and so sad. Infections and diseases knock us off of our feet, causing trips to the doctor week after week. Doctors probe and poke, causing so much pain. It reminds us not to take Allah's words in vain. Healthy foods and exercise is the way. These things should be done every way. Allah gives us what we need. Allah shows us what to eat. Allah gives us what we need. Allah shows us how to eat.
Allahu Akbar.
So, based on that, that right there, that was like, this song is like a driving force behind the passion that I feel in the area of health and nutrition. I wanted to share a couple of things from this PowerPoint. If I can get it. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Well, let me go back. I'm sorry. Okay. Many of you eat on the run, and so eating on the run, there are a lot of healthy choices you can make. Of course, the processed foods are there, but if you just take a little extra time and look on that menu, you'll find something that you could eat that wouldn't be so bad. Something that has a little less sodium, a little less fat, maybe baked, grilled, or something like this. Most everywhere. And actually, this is a big thing with the president and his wife. Well, basically his wife Michelle. She's really big on trying to help the students lose weight and exercise. And so, with that in mind, most of the food industry, they're trying to stay in the same realm and provide these healthier options for people. Okay. A lot of times it may be better for us if we know we're going to go someplace to just go ahead and take a little extra time, plan your meals for the day, keep snacks on hand. You can grab some fruit, nuts, some chopped up vegetables. Just if you plan your day, it's easier, and you won't feel guilty, at the end of the day. Drink plenty of water. And a lot of places you go, like if you stay in hotels, they do have exercise rooms. A friend of mine, he has a tendency to go to the hotel, bring his gym shoes and walk right by the room. We would like to actually visit the workout room, maybe get on the treadmill or use the weights, get in the pool. We had to actually take advantage of the opportunities that they do provide us with. Car travel, same thing. Just if you go ahead and plan ahead, and it'll be easier than stopping in the restaurants. Okay. My grandson, that was Esau, my grandson. He passed out to you all some sheets. And with these sheets, the first one right here, this is basically a food journal. So what we like to do in the clinics or the hospitals, when we're dealing with our patients or our clients, we ask them to keep in mind not only what a person eats, the time, the calories, location, and the reason for eating. Well, we do a lot of emotional eating. When we're happy, when we're sad, when we're bored, we use food to self-soothe ourselves, basically. And a lot of times that can lead to compulsive eating, different disorders like, and honestly, I was one of those victims. I was anorexic and bulimic when I was right out of high school. So it's very easy to fall into those categories. But emotional eating is a big problem for a lot of people. We use food as a tension reliever, and or just to celebrate, just to celebrate. But if this does become a problem for people, if you know of people who have this issue, the best things to do are to ask them to be aware, or you yourself, make a conscious effort to be aware of where you eat, what time, how you eat, and what mood you're in when you're eating. And focus on your focus on perhaps making the like implementing like certain times that you eat instead of just like eating randomly. If you focus on implementing like certain times, okay, I know I have to be at work at 7 o'clock, and so I'm going to consciously wake up at 5 o'clock, have my prayer, and then I'm going to consciously maybe take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get on my treadmill. I'm going to consciously make me some oatmeal, or drink some tea, have a piece of toast. It don't even have to be really heavy. Some people don't like to eat in the morning, and that's okay. But if you just have something, it'll be better. You have to consciously take the effort to eat when you know that you are an emotional eater. When we are on various eating plans and we fall off, which diets are not really good for you. If you just eat, like I said, if you just choose the foods that Allah provided for you, it's better. But a lot of times people fall off and they feel really upset. And so the best thing to do is to say, okay, Bismillah, I fell off, I'm not eating the way I'm supposed to. I know this. And don't say, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, you need to do it at the next meal. Just go ahead, pick up your fork, go to the kitchen, make something that you know is healthy for you, that will benefit you more than the bad choices you made. Don't be upset with yourself. A lot of times we beat ourselves up and, we say, this is wrong, I can't make it. But actually you can. This affects people all over the world, this eating cycle. Let me see. There's a website, and it's called ChooseMyPlate.gov. And on this website, if you all would like to visit it, they actually have tools to help you. And they have the food pyramid. And the food pyramid is a really good guide. And so that second sheet you have your diet versus the food guide. On that sheet, they show the amount of servings women, men, and children should have approximately every day. And for each of the food groups, we have 6 food groups. They have changed it slightly, but we have 6 food groups. And on the sheet that you have, it would be nice if you could go through it like while you're at home and compare it to the first sheet you have, like the food log you have, the diary, and put in the the food that you actually had, compare it to that sheet, and it would help you with that emotional eating even. There's one more we'd like to use. Let's see. I'll go to it.
Keep talking.
Okay, we had some questions. Sister Lynn had passed out some small slips. And one question people had was regarding weight. And with weight, with each pound is approximately 3,500 calories. And if you eat a nice big breakfast from, well, I don't want to name the place, but if you go and order a big breakfast, and then for lunch you have another pretty healthy meal, and for dinner, you have probably surpassed that 3,500 calorie limit that equals to a pound. You've probably actually eaten maybe about 3 to 4 pounds that day. But there's a formula that people can use in order to lose weight. And it's called a BMR, the basal metabolic rate. And the basal metabolic rate is actually the amount of energy that we need in order for our body to function when it's at rest. So like our vital functions, our heart, our liver, our stomach, our organs, in order to just maintain and stay alive, our body needs a certain rate. And in order to lose weight, what we have to do is take that particular amount, and it's like an estimate, I believe it's 2,500 calories per day for a man to just sustain. Not do anything else, just to sustain, just like laying in the bed, For women, it's approximately 2,000 calories they need to sustain. But if you take the numbers that are indicated up here, for men, the 655 plus his 5.3 times his weight, plus 4.7 times his height, minus the 4.7, you'll get that BMR, that basal metabolic rate. And once you do that, you'll let me see. It's not very complicated, but what you'll do is depends on your activity level. Just say a person really doesn't do much. So for a man, you would take that formula and you will multiply it by 20% if you're kind of sedentary, and that will give you the amount of calories that you actually need in order to survive, or in order to maintain, yeah, exactly, in order to maintain. But to lose weight, what you need to do is create a 500 calorie deficit per day. And you can do that with food, you can do that with activity. Just say, okay, 500 calories, we're going to break it up. So just say, okay, when I get that big breakfast, I'm going to leave my hotcakes off. Maybe that's worth 250 calories, okay? And then the other 250 calories, perhaps, okay, I usually park my car as close to the door as possible when I go shopping. Well, today I'm going to park it at the end of the parking lot. Maybe that burns 250 calories. And so that's creating that 500 calorie deficit that you need in order to lose weight. Now, we have some people who want to gain weight. Well, you do basically the opposite. But it's really easy. A lot of times, institutions make it seem hard, but everything that Allah has given us is easy. We make life hard ourselves. Allah has made everything easy for us. So we take what He's given us, the foods, our the different resources that we have in town. I know when I left, they didn't have that Croc Center that I saw over like 119th Center. It's beautiful. I don't know how many people are taking advantage of it, but it's beautiful. You know, so if you take advantages of the different resources you have, take advantage of just eating whole foods, natural foods instead of the processed choices, it would help you, and also it would help your families, because in the instance with my cousin yesterday, not only did her bad choice affect her, it affected the whole family, because I want to say the times that I was up there, perhaps maybe 40 to 50 people came through the door just to see her, friends and family. So our choices not only affect us, it affects everybody around us. So I thank you all for your time. Inshallah, something that I presented with you today will sink in, you'll use it, and may Allah bless you all, and thank you.
I have one question. Wait. On one of your slides as you were going by, it said one sandwich is usually enough for 2 people.
Yes, it is, because if you remember years back, and I remember years back, okay, even like the cereal boxes, I've noticed that, the sandwiches, they were maybe like 3 inches, but now the sandwiches are maybe like 5 inches across, you know, some of them. I don't know which slide you were talking about. Let me see. The drinks, they always want you to supersize everything. Supersizing everything, supersizing everything is where those extra calories come from. And you might think, oh, I'm getting me a sweet tea, that's a good choice. Well, guess what? Sweet tea is full of sugar, okay? Like in my chemistry class, we had to do some, we had to take different, we took milk and we broke it down. And we found the different chemical properties in milk, the carbohydrates, the fats, and so forth in milk. But if you take your sweet tea and if you dehydrated it, you probably end up with maybe like a half a cup, maybe to a cup of sugar. So, okay. Yeah, most of the foods nowadays, they're huge. They encourage you to do it, even though the price may be the same. They encourage you to do it. And you know, forgive me, but this is just my own personal thought. The healthcare industry is working right along with the hospitality industry, food industry, pharmacy. They all work together to keep their pockets full. They want to manage your health. We're wise enough to manage our own health, okay? We really are, okay? What they're doing, to me, when they say manage health, they're managing to keep you coming back to them so their pockets will get fatter and fatter, you know? But that's just me, okay? I have, because you know what? Honestly, we need the healthcare system for certain things. We really do. Like, okay, well, maybe not me all the time. Like, I broke my finger playing basketball in school a few weeks ago. But because I did work in the ER, I knew what to do for it. But, you know, to set bones, to, you know, do certain things, you know, we do need them. But some things we can manage on our own. We don't need them to manage everything. Manage our pockets. Yes.
What do you think about the way we raise our children? Because we see a whole generation, maybe a couple of generations of the American population has had bad or wrong habits of eating, how to manage because of the commercial world or whatever, or because of family traditions that's been passed down and saying you should always clean your plate. And because I can't tell you countless times I've seen mothers tell their children and threaten to whip them or spank them, tell them they have to finish their food all the time. Do you think we should manage our children different, and knowing that children are probably I always hear the term stress eating. You say emotional eating. I thought about it. I said, when I stopped stress eating, that's when I felt like I was better in control. But I'm an emotional eater. Food is one of the things Allah bless us. You know, you tell me you cook, let me smell food. If you want to see me get emotional, watch it. My mother once baked the apple pie one time. I almost cried. I'm an emotional eater. But I think the stress in children are the number one causes of the stress in most people's lives. So do you think we should kind of bag up off of the children that don't need to be encouraged to eat and let them, their bodies kind of tell them what to eat? Because I find that also that a lot of times I don't have the time to listen to my body telling me, and sometimes I ignore it. But sometimes I just want some vegetables and some greens. Other times I just want some protein, and I'm like, I want fish. I gotta have fish. And other times I'm like, I gotta have some mashed potatoes.
Well, I'll address both of those questions. I'll address both of those.
I think societal changes is what we really need, and our religion gives us all of it. That is, the Muslim could achieve peace in their life throughout the day between the 5 daily prayers. If you can find peace in your life, then the stress can be eliminated.
It
the
can.
Stress eating.
Right, it can. The first question about the children, yes, our families did encourage us to, clean your plates, But even with my grandson, I was like that with him. But my daughter said, Mom, just leave him alone. If he's hungry, he'll eat. And that's true. Your body, Allah has created a wonderful machine, okay? And, okay, I'll put it like this. The squeaky oil doesn't get fed. So if your body is not squeaking and telling you it's hungry, then you don't have to eat, okay? We just overindulge all the time. And we teach, really unknowingly, we don't do it consciously, our children to be that way also. But if we just let them eat when they want to, it's okay, They're not gonna just wither up and, blow away, if they don't eat by the end of the day. It's all right, all of us can afford to skip some meals. We really can. But just leave them alone. They'll be okay. When they do have their choices of what to eat, I would suggest that you maybe cut up some fruit or vegetables, or maybe have some peanuts or something, maybe some popcorn, not with a lot of butter, please. Just have some good choices for them when they are hungry, because children, okay, well, it depends on the age. They don't go to the store and buy the foods. You go buy it,
Yeah,
So, go ahead.
I have an example. I hate to see children eating ramen noodles, but if they convince one of us, they always get the ramen noodles. And yesterday, my children were eating a bowl of ramen noodles. Actually, they couldn't get the stove on. They had already put the water in the pot. So I made the ramen noodles. But what I noticed is that I felt a little guilty because I gave in and let them eat something I didn't want them to eat. But my daughter afterwards, because there were little cuties, small clementines on the counter.
The cuties, yes.
She went and brought me a clementine. She ate about half the bowl of the noodles, and she asked me to peel the clementine, and she ate the whole clementine.
Right, yeah.
So
you have to have the choices for them. Like I said, they don't go to the store and buy the stuff. You do, And this is the thing. Okay, we do want to eat, and we want to make healthy choices, but at the same time, if you don't, that's when you tend to overeat, and it feels like you're depriving yourself. Keep a couple of treats around. It's okay, but just stay conscious of the better choices. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, stay conscious of the better choices. And then Hugh had one more. What was your Wallace? What was your second question?
Well, the main one thing is that I discovered in my life journey and trials and errors, just being human, that what I feel all people, and because of the mindset that I have comes from the community that we have, being a minority and having a great responsibility to think universal, is that all people want peace in their life. I don't care what religion, what walks of life, even the crazy person walking the street, the gangster with the, drug dealing gangster, they ultimately, their life reflects the opposite.
Right.
But ultimately, all human beings in their soul, in order to make progress in this human soul, in this body that God has given us, we have to satisfy the needs of the body by creating an environment that the body feels comfortable in. And firstly, by having peace, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. And then you can solve a whole lot of problems.
Right, you can.
So the stress. So whatever it is that's stressing you out with the children, you may want to rethink how much attention do your children need? More attention.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
instead of yelling at them, beating them, and then finally you got them out your way, you go grab that box of cookies and the milk.
Right.
As soon as they go to bed, because you can feel, because I don't snack as much as I used to, but my children, you go to bed at night, they might still be up. They wake me up out of my sleep, and I feel physically ill, sometimes nauseous. You know, if you ever go into a deep sleep and you have somebody jar you out of it with a lot of noise and jumping, and they might be playing.
Right.
Whereas before, I would have heated up some cookies and milk and went back to sleep. I just said, well, I'm going to solve this problem. I'm not getting no peace here. The kids has got to go. I kicked them out of the room, and I locked the door. And I didn't say what else. I said, anybody got a problem with that, they go on the other side of the door.
Right.
But the stress, I believe
Yeah.
stress, African-American people, I watch on television and hear things, that we have real short fuses. And the reason why we turn to drugs and alcohol and all these different vices is because we can't get peace in our everyday life.
Right,
No
yeah,
society
yeah.
can advance if there's not a circumstances of peace
Right,
to
yeah.
support their advancement.
Right, yeah, and that does lead to a lot of the emotional eating that we, encounter
My
every
father
day.
used to call it hell. He said, you got to get the hell out your life.
Yep, that's true. And I mean, you may have to change jobs, you may have to change
Whatever it takes.
whatever it takes. Yep, your job, you may have to move, you may have to change spouses. I mean, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I mean,
Allah made this earth spacious.
okay. I'm being honest, okay? I said change. I mean, you have one. Yes, brother. Waalaikumsalam.
Allah has suggested that we fast for Ramadan, but also there's a fast called the Prophet Muhammad type fast. And what Mondays and Thursdays are the days that Prophet Muhammad used to fast. So sometimes we should practice that.
Yes,
that
you should.
idea of fasting, maybe Mondays and Thursdays, and especially right now, because I noticed you got all these tips on here about what to eat and how to eat, but fasting is something that's very healthy for you.
Yes, it is. And you know what? Actually, I do fast, and I encourage fasting. Allah knows, and of course we don't, but what I have found out in my research with fasting is that it allows your body to rest and to regenerate even better, because your body is not doesn't have to work to break down the different proteins and molecules and carbohydrates and everything that goes into your body. Your body gets a chance to rest and regenerate. So fasting is wonderful for you. I mean, some people do it a couple times a month, a couple times a week. Yeah, so I do encourage fasting. You don't look either the way we fast from sun up to sundown, or maybe you want to do a juice fast or whatever, But please, by all means.
Also,
I have a few more minutes. One more question. Go ahead.
I just want to add this other thing. Colonics. You know how you get your car ready to flushed out?
Yes.
Colonics from time to time are good. I was reading a pamphlet by Dr. Abdel Nuruddin, and he suggests that we have a colonic quarterly. So this helps to flush your intestines out, which is maybe packed with feces.
Right.
So we should do that every so often.
Right.
Whatever you think is good for you.
Right. Yes, I do believe in colonics. Yes, I do, and that is a way, because we have so much food, like you said, encrusted in the lining of our intestines. So we do have to. If you eat the right foods, it'll help sweep it out. But if you don't eat, go ahead, get your colonic, but still keep in mind, just be conscious of what you eat afterwards, because you can really make yourself really ill if you eat wrong after the colonics,
Yeah, and it's not for small children.
Oh, it's not for everyone. No, it's not for everybody.
But you can clean yourself out with fiber and
You can.
And naturally.
Yeah, naturally. That's what I'm saying. Naturally.
Colonics is more for
Extreme
after you have
Yes,
already
it
been
is.
out of balance.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like cleaning the house and you ain't cleaning the house.
Exactly.
all year.
Right.
And you need a little more extra effort.
Right.
But if you eat the proper balance of
Exactly.
vegetables and fruits,
Mhm.
you get a
Exactly.
natural process of
Right.
life.
All right, I want to thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Here's Dr. Lynn. Thank you.
Wait, Natalie. Give me a second here. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again, Assalamu alaikum. So you see why I shared the platform with her. Alhamdulillah. And again, a product of our Muslim community that is, alhamdulillah, doing some remarkable things. So I'm going to, inshallah, continue where Natalie left off, giving you a little bit more information and addressing many of your questions that you posed to us. Right now, Esau, who happens to be Sister Natalie's grandson, is passing around a card. This card is an informational card, and I'll talk a little bit more about the program that card represents as I go through my presentation. So just, inshallah, put it in a spot, and if you do happen to lose it, the information is also available on the Mosque Cares website.